everyone, Jess here, and today I'm joined with Dave LaPorte from Denver International Airport. Thank you so much for joining me today, Dave.
Of course, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, as I understand it, the airport is set up for, or was initially set up for approximately 50 million people. And last year, am I right that you actually had about 82.3 million come through? So that's obviously quite a big disparity in the numbers. What are some of the operational challenges inherent with this huge growth?
That's a great question. So because of that explosive growth in a small terminal, well, it's a big terminal, but it feels small because we're so busy. We are renovating that terminal building. We have completely revamped our security checkpoint areas. We are using technology by Scarabee, which is an automated screening lane with multiple divestiture points. We have CT machines within those security lanes rather than the old X-ray. We use remote screening so that the images are not seen at the lane, but they go to a remote room where we can actually put more TSA officers than we have lanes, so they can crank through those images pretty quickly. We have Roden Schwartz walk-through screening for our passengers, so you don't have to lift your hands up in the air. It's a much quicker experience. So we've almost doubled our throughput at each one of our lanes, which has been a huge help for us because we can get people through security much quicker. In addition to that, we have Materna self-bag drops at our ticket counters, so that gives our passengers and our airlines the opportunity to either use it as a self-bag drop or a full-service position, and that has also helped out a lot. It's a much quicker experience. So knowing that we're space constrained, we're trying to get people, our customers, through the facility much quicker.
Fantastic. So you're massively increasing your capacity, and am I right that you haven't actually expanded your footprint, or is that in addition?
Not in the terminal. We have on the concourses. We've added 39 new gates on the concourses, which allows more flights to help keep up with the loads. And by the way, we're anticipating that we'll be at 100 million sometime in the next few years. So very, very large airport. So you're right, the terminal has not expanded itself yet. It's going to, but we're trying to maximize the real estate that we have currently.
So in the meantime, leveraging technology to push for efficiency.
That's right.
And then, of course, sustainability is a huge challenge for the industry, and it's a primary concern for most industry players at this point. What are some of the major initiatives going on at the moment, or that you're planning for the near future?
Great question. So you probably know that Denver Airport's a very large airport. We have 53 square miles. And because of that, we're able to use a lot of that land. We use about 200 acres of that land for solar arrays. We're producing a good portion of our energy consumption. We're producing that through those solar arrays now, so that helps a lot. In addition to that, we have an energy performance contract where we are going through the entire facility and automating a number of our systems. So we have been able to reduce our power consumption by about 20%, even though we've had a 13% growth over the last year. And we're reducing our water usage as well.
That's fantastic. So, facilitating that growth without the knock-on that could have on the environment.
Right.
And are there any other upcoming projects that you'd like to flag, or?
Yeah, so I should mention that I mentioned those 39 new gates. Every one of those facilities achieved LEED Platinum status, and that's important to us. We want to make sure that we're good to the environment. We have another expansion coming. We intend to make that LEED Platinum as well. We are expanding the terminal to the north. That will be a new processor to start, where we will have new ticket counters, new customs area, baggage claims, things like that. And then we'll be able to build concourses off of that processor. So we have a long-term plan for 2045, and even beyond that, where we can get to 120 million passengers a year.
Fantastic. So you just mentioned 2045. What would you say the ideal airport experience is going to look like in, say, 20 years?
first off, we recognize that people, they have to travel. We want to get them through the facility quickly and onto their aircraft. But we also want to make that an experience when they're at the airport. And for a lot of people, they want to savor that experience when they're traveling. So we try and make it a comfortable environment. We try to create a sense of place at our airport, knowing that a lot of the people that pass through our airport never even step outside the door, but they know they're in Denver. So we want to make sure they know they're in Denver. I think this idea of seamless travel is what a lot of airports are thinking about. Probably using biometrics, facial recognition, not only to check a bag, but to get through the security checkpoint, to buy a cup of coffee, to board the airplane. We want to make that just as seamless as we can, hopefully using biometrics.
Fantastic. That's sort of like hands-free experience.
Yeah.
That sounds so futuristic, but actually a lot of the technology is in play already.
It does. It sounds like an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah, exactly. And then when we think about the future and preparing for the passenger experience of the future, how important is it to future-proof the investments you're making today to make sure that they stay relevant long into the future?
Yeah, it's really important. When we spend the kind of money that we spend at airports to create a good experience, we want to make sure that those assets or design will last us for a long time. And so we try to build things modularly so that we can either expand or hopefully not contract, but we can adjust the size of that operation if we need to. We try to use open source software platforms so that we're not tied to a single vendor, so that we can be a little bit more flexible along the way. And these self-bag drops are a great example of that, where we can grow that or shrink it pretty quickly.
Definitely. So keeping flexibility and adaptability in mind.
Correct.
Fantastic.
And protecting the investment. We put a lot of value in our asset management program, where we go out and evaluate the health of all of our assets, and then from a capital planning perspective can understand better when we're going to have to invest to either replace or refurbish those assets. And we can start to smooth that out over time so that we don't have spikes in our capital expense.
So get a bit more proactive rather than reactive.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Dave.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.